Applied Science Reports www.pscipub.com/ASREISSN 2310-9440/PISSN 2311-0139 doi 10.15192/PSCP.ASR.2014.4.1.1320 AppSci Report 8. 1, 2014, 13-20 Copyright PSCI Publications Adoption of Salt-Tolerant Variety in the Coastal Areas of Bangladesh Sanjida Kankar 1 *, Kohanur Begum 2, Nazmul Hasan 2, Shimal Chandra Sarkar 3, MD Asaduzaman 4 Mohammad Hossain Wian 5-1. Department of Agricultural Extension, Ministry of Agriculture, Chagalnaya, Fini, Bangladesh. 2. Department of Plant Pathology, Faculty of Agriculture, Sher-e Bangla Agricultural University, Sher-e Bangla Nagar, Dhaka 1207 Bangladesh. 3. Department of Agronomy, Faculty of Agriculture, Sher-e Bangla Agricultural University Shir Bangla Nagar, Dhaka 1207, Bangladesh. 4. Department of Food Processing and Preservation, Faculty of Agro-Industrial and Process Engineering, Haji Mohammed Danish Science and Technology University, Dinajpur, Bangladesh. 5. Department of Agricultural Extension and Information System, Sher-e Bangla Agricultural University, Sher-e Bangla Nagar, Dhaka 1207, Bangladesh. Corresponding author email, khandkirsanjida@yahoo.com. Paper information received, August 8, 2014. Accepted, September 19, 2014. Published, October 20, 2014. Keywords: Adoption, BRRI dhan 47, Salinity, Farmers, Coastal Area ABSTRACT. The objective of this study was to determine the extent of adoption of salt-tolerant variety BRRI dhan 47 in Noakhali district. Data were collected from randomly selected 100 farmers. Viaduct pre-tested interview scheduled during September 20 to October 10, 2012. After data collection, were coded for processing and analysis. SPSS was used to perform the data analysis. Percentage, mean, standard deviation were calculated. Coefficients of correlation, R, were computed to find out the relationship between adoption of BRRI dhan 47 and the selected socio-economic characteristics of farmers. Majority of the respondents were middle-aged, 48%, having primary level education, 46%, medium family size, 60%, small farm size, 51%, medium annual income, 66%, very low organizational participation, 65%, low innovativeness, 72%, medium extension contact, 64%, and medium knowledge on rice cultivation, 70%. Majority, 53%, of the respondents had low adoption of BRRI dhan 47, whereas 42% medium and only 5% under high adoption category. Farmers' education, farm size, annual income, innovativeness, extension contact, and knowledge on rice cultivation showed significant and positive relationship with adoption of BRRI dhan 47. Shattering problem, cost on irrigation, natural calamities were the major problems faced by the farmers in cultivating BRRI dhan 47. Proper extensions activities are needed to disseminate BRRI dhan 47 to bring the uncultivated areas under rigorous cultivation for ensure a better livelihood on the coastal farmers. Copyright 2014 PSCI Publisher, all rights reserved. Introduction. Rice, Oryza sativa L., is the most important cereal crops of the world and more than half of world population used as a staple food. There are more than 110 countries in the world occupying rice, almost 160 million hectares, 700 APSI report. 2014, 13 to 20 million tons rice producing every year, BRRI, 2010. Nowadays, increasing population is one of the key factors in Bangladesh. To provide residents of huge population, cultivable area decreases gradually. But average rice yield in Bangladesh is only 4.34 tons ha1, BRRI, 2011. To fulfill the huge demand of food for this growing population must be the world's annual rice production increase about 760 million tons within 2020, Kundu and Ladha, 1995. However, rice yield increase should be done by use of high-yielding varieties, HYV, saline-tolerant varieties and proper management technique, etc. The coastal saline areas are spread in 64 upzilas of 13 districts of Bangladesh, Chowdhury et al. 2012. Out of 2.85 million hectares of the coastal and offshore area, 0.83 million hectares, which covered less than 30% of the total cultivable land our country. A huge part of coastal area is covered by the Sundarbans, remaining land used in agriculture. The coastal area like Shatkhira, Khulna, Bagerhat, Barguna, Pachuakali, Pirajpur, Bola, Noakhali, Chittagong, Feni, in Bangladesh affected by varying degree of salinity. Salinity stress is one of the most serious environmental stresses limiting the productivity of agricultural crops. Salinity affects more than 25% of worth land, Levinaran et al., 1995, Chahine et al. 2013, and desertification and salinization are rapidly increasing on a global scale, declining average yields for most major crop plants by more than 50%. BRRI et al., 2000, BRRI dhan 47, new saline-tolerant paddy has been introduced in the coastal region in Bangladesh during 2006-2007. Chowdhury et al., 2012, reported that the BRRI dhan 47 is more suitable to salinity, 12 to 14 DSM-1, comparison with the conventional HYV, 4 DSM-1. However, saline-tolerant variety is allowed to secure poor farmers to sustain their income and also save land holding, which seems as low profitable land or unused land. According to the BBS 2010 census, there are approximately 37 million peoples living in coastal districts of Bangladesh. Due to lack of income, a large number of people migrated to cities to work as day laborers, increase their livelihood status. It is expected that continuous population increase, coastal population is also supposed to be increased. Adoption of saline-tolerant paddy in coastal region will generate more scope of income among the poor farmers as well as limit the tendencies migrate into urban areas. Suryanarayanan, 2010. Whenever an innovation is generated, effort has been made to diffuse the innovation. Present days there is a crucial need to increase the rice production as the pressure of increased population. To gear up the food production, farmers are being encouraged to adopt HYV rice cultivation technologies, and their adoption skill produce positive blow to potential adopters who are always hesitate to adopt any new innovations. Continuous scientific research in rice cultivation and other relative field have made it possible to find out certain useful technologies, which if used properly, that should be minimize the lack horizontal expansion of land to fulfill demand of food supply. BRRI dhan 47 has high performance during burrow season on coastal districts. Thus need to disseminated this salt-tolerant variety to all the coastal farmer for increase rice production on salt-affected area, and this should be huge effect illustrate on national economy. Improved production also visualize on farmers' livelihood because of raising income. Generally an individual worried to adopt new technology if not find out any beneficial factors to him. Even he convinced about the profit still may not use that lack of financial capability. So all the socio-economy, cultural, physiological condition work as vital factor when delivered a new situation. Noakhali is one of the coastal districts in Bangladesh having salinity problem on cultivable land, and due to sea level increasing nowadays it's a major problem on rice cultivation. BRRI dhan 47 is most appropriate salt-tolerant variety at this occasion in that area. Studies on individual, group and society revealed that acceptance of modern technologies is 14 APSI report. 8. 1. 2014, 13 to 20 conditional upon many factors. While conducting research, the entire factor like social, economical, and situational factors takes into account. Methodology: our experiment study was conducted at Subarnakar Upazila under Noakhali district. There are 6 unions in Subarnakar Upazila, namely Char Jabar, Char Wapta, Char Jubilee, Char Amanullah, Char Bata, and Char Clerk. The Char Bata union was randomly selected out of 6 unions. It has 13 villages. Out of 13 villages, 3 villages were randomly selected, namely Char Bata, Kasar Hat, and Sahebar Hat. The list comprised a total of 334 farmers in the study and randomly selected 100 farmers. To collect relevant information from the selected respondents, an interview schedule was carefully designed to fix spotlight on the objectives of the study. Considering the suggestion, the interview schedule was pre-tested among the similar group of farmers, who were not included in the sampling. This was done to verify the instruments whether it was suitable for data collection. The researcher modifies and corrects the interview schedule. The data collected period was October 20 to November 10 of 2012. Age, education, family size, farm size, annual family income, organizational participation, innovativeness, extension media conduct, knowledge on rice cultivation. On modern rice cultivation technologies of the respondent was considered as an independent variable and BRRI dhan 47 dependent variable. The adoption of salt-tolerant variety BRRI dhan 47 was measured computing adoption formula. It was calculated using the equation about the area coverage adoption founded by Professor Mohammed Hossain Bhuiyan, 2005, which is as below: E extent of adoption equals x 100 p, where E equals area under BRRI dhan 47 cultivation by a farmer, P equals total area under rice cultivation by a farmer. Farmer faced different kind of problems during rice cultivation. A list of 10 probable problems that farmers could face in different aspects were listed and asked to indicate the extent of their problem confrontation. To ascertain the comparison among the problems, a problem faced index, PFI, was computed using following formula: PFI equals PHX3 plus PMX2 plus PLX1 plus PNX0, where PFI equals problem faced index, pH equals % of BRRI dhan 47 growers having high problem, PM equals % of BRRI dhan 47 growers having moderate problem, PL equals % of BRRI dhan 47 growers having low problem, PN equals % of BRRI dhan 47 growers having no problem at all. The statistical measures such as number and percentage distribution were used for describing the variables of the study. If the computed value of coefficient of correlation R was equal to or greater than table value at designated level of significance for the relevant degrees of freedom, the null hypothesis was rejected and it was concluded that there was significant relationship between the concerned variables. 15 APSI Report 8. 1. 2014, 13-20 Result and discussion. Selected characteristics of the farmers. 9 characteristics of the farmers were selected to find out their relationships with the adoption of salt-tolerant variety BRRI dhan 47. The farmers' characteristics were age, education, farm size, family size, annual income, organizational participation, innovativeness, extension media contact and knowledge on rice cultivation. These characteristics of the farmers are described in this section. The results on the selected characteristics with the farmers are presented in Table 1. Characteristics: age, education, family size, farm size, annual income, organizational participation, innovativeness, extension contact, knowledge on rice cultivation, measuring unit, actual years, years of schooling, actual number, hectare, unit, score, scale, score, scale, score, scale, score, scale, score. Table 1. Salient features of the respondents with their characteristics range: possible 0-16, 0 to 21, 0 to 30, 0 to 40, 0 to 30, obtained 29 to 65, 0 to 16, 2 to 9, 0.03, 0 to 3.41, 70 to 340, 0 to 7, 0 to 15, 5 to 24, 3 to 21. Category: young, aged, up to 3.5 YRS. Middle-aged, 36 to 50 YRS, old, above 50 YRS, no education. Primary level, 1 to 5, secondary level, 6 to 10, above secondary, above 10, small, below 5, medium, 5 to 7, large, above 7, small, below 1 HA, medium, 1 to 3 Ha, large, above 3 HA, low, up to 160, medium, 161 to 250, high, 251 to 340, no participation, 0, very low, up to 4, low, 5 to 7, no innovation, 0, low, up to 7, medium, 8 to 15, low, up to 11, medium, 12 to 18, high, 19 to 24, low, 3 to 8, medium, 9-15, high, 16 to 21, farmers no. Percent 39, 39, 48, 48, 13, 13, 19, 19, 46, 46, 32, 32, 33, 18, 38, 60, 60, 22, 2, 51, 51, 44, 44, 5, 5, 13, 13, 66, 66, 11, 11, 18, 18, 65, 65, 17, 17, 8, 8, 72, 72, 20, 20, 13, 13, 64, 60, 64 23 23 17 17 70 70 13 13 mean 39.70 standard deviation 8.26 4.66 2.72 5.34 1.92 1.20 0.77 176.97 2.61 72.24 1.69.35 2.30 14.78 5.08 12.73 4.5 The highest proportion, 48%, of the respondents fell in the middle-aged category compared to 39% young-aged category and 13% farmers were found to be old. Young people are generally receptive to new ideas and things. The large proportion, 46%, of the respondents fell under category of primary level education and 32% secondary level education while 19% farmers under no education category. Only 3% people have above secondary level of education. The data contained in the table indicate that about 4/50 of the respondents of the study area had education ranged from primary to above secondary. It is higher than national average. Education can enlighten a family, a society, and nation. It may contribute to the adoption of BRRI dhan 47. The highest proportion, 60%, of the farmers fell under the medium family category compared to 22% having large family. Only 18% was under small family category. Family size can influence adoption of innovation. Small to medium-size family members are more eager to take risk and have potentiality to take chance in case of new innovation. On the other hand, large family members always busy to fulfill their basic needs and are afraid of loss of income due to adoption of BRRI dhan 47. Lack of awareness and less adoption of family planning among the farmers are highly responsible for large family size. However, in the studying area average family size, 5.34, is not higher than national average, which can contribute in the agroeconomic development of Bangladesh. The highest proportion, 51%, of the farmers had small farm compared to 44% had medium farm and 5% having large farm. Table 4.1, 16 APSI Report 8, 1, 2014. 13 to 20 The average farm size of the farmers of the study area is small. This might be due to the fact that the farmers of the study area were high density of population. Having small farm size of a farmer showed lower capability to adopt new ideas or innovation, where medium to large farm size have chance to experiment of any innovation, either profitable or loss for his livelihood. The 2/3, 66%, of the respondents have medium and low income compared to 13% low income group and 21% high income group. The average income of the farmers of the study area was a standard compared to the national average income. This might be due to the fact that the farmers of the study area were not only engaged in agriculture. They also earn from other sources such as service, business, etc. Farmers with the low income generally hesitate to adopt innovations in their own farms because of their lower risk-bearing ability and their inability to make necessary financial investment. However, about 79% respondents of the study area are supposed to adopt BRRI dhan 47. The major proportion, 65%, of the farmers had very low organizational participation as compared to 18% no participation, where 17% had low participation. The highest proportion, 72%, of the farmers had low innovativeness as compared to 20% medium innovativeness and only 8% had no innovativeness. Table 4.1, and revealed that majority, 80% of the respondent farmers of the study area had no to low level of innovativeness. The most of the farmers of the study area had medium extension contact, 64%, while 23% had high extension contact and 13% had low extension contact. The findings of the study indicated that most of the respondents had medium to high extension contact for getting necessary agricultural innovations information. The majority, 70%, of the farmers had medium knowledge compared to 17% had low knowledge and 13% possessed high knowledge. Table 1. It reveals that an overwhelming majority, 83%, of the farmers in the study area had medium to high knowledge on rice cultivation. Adoption of salt-tolerant variety BRRI dhan 47 by the farmers. The adoption of BRRI dhan 47 by the respondent ranged from 6.67 to 70.06% against the possible range 0 to 100. The average being was 25.67 with a standard deviation 14.06. Table 2. Distribution of farmers according to their extent of adoption of salt-tolerant variety BRRI dhan 47 categories: low, up to 27, medium, 28 to 49, high, above 49. Total number 53 42 5 100. Percentage 53 42 5 100. Mean 25.67. SD 14.06. Data presented in Table 2 revealed that more than one-half of the respondent farmers, 53%, were under the low adopter category, while 42% farmers belonged to medium adopter category. The remaining 5% was found to be high adopter category. Data contained in the Table 4.2 show that all the farmers adopted BRRI dhan 47, whether they were low, medium, or high adopters. For many reasons, farmers could not allot all the potential lands for BRRI dhan 47. Farmers of Bangladesh preaching integrated crop farming. Earn their small holdings. They produce rice, wheat, potato, oil seeds, pulses, jute, vegetables and the more. So, reasonably most of the farmers were low adopters of BRRI dhan 47. In such situation, full use of innovation is not possible in Bangladesh. Moreover, there are other promising innovations, which ensure farmers more economic benefit. So, farmers keep their same part of land for other technology also. The farmers, who are low adopters in case of BRRI dhan 47, may be high for HYV wheat product or Shattering. Bangladesh Rice Research Institute released BRRI dhan 47 rice variety in 2008. Still now this rice variety is not so popular in the study area. At seedling stage and early mature stage of BRRI dhan 47, degree of salinity tolerant level is up to 12 DSM-1, but at all these 17 APSI report 8.1/2014, 13 to 20 stages this variety do not tolerate higher salinity. Some other problems like natural calamities also have effect on adoption of BRRI dhan 47. Sometimes lack of awareness about new technology also affect on farmers' adoption. Table 3. Coefficient of correlation showing relationship between BRRI dhan 47 farmers' selected characteristics and their adoption of salt-tolerant variety BRRI dhan 47. N equals 100, Independent variables. Dependent variable tabulated value are age, education, family size, farm size, annual family income, organizational participation, innovativeness, extension, contact, knowledge on rice cultivation, adoption of BRRI, dhan 47 of selected characteristics 0.5%, 0.195, 0.1%, 0.256 coefficient of correlation, R value. 0.081 ns 0.232 asterisk 0.023 ns 0.221 asterisk 0.258 0.144 ns 0.220 asterisk 0.279 0.223 asterisk equals significant at 0.05 level equals significant at 0.01 level. NS equals non-significant relationship between the selected characteristics of BRRI dhan 47. Our study indicated that the education level was a significant correlation on adaptation of BRRI dhan 47, but age did not influence on adaptation. Table 3. Similar findings were corroborated by Ozaib, 2002, Sardar, 2002, Akhtar, 2007, and Chowdhury et al., 2012. However, farmers could influence due to his educational capability to cultivation of BRRI dhan 47. Family size of the farmers was insignificant for adoption of BRRI dhan 47 cultivation, but farm size was significantly correlated of adoption of BRRI dhan 47 cultivation. Similar results were also demonstrated for adopting of potato, Hassan, 2003, Mugbian, Islam, 2008, and rice, Chowdhury et al. 2012. The innovation has always risks. Sometime new technology used to fail in coping with new areas because of failure. The farmers having large farm size can take this risk as trial basis, and if they fail they can compensate through other rice varieties. On the other hand, small farmers have no scope of taking risk, for which they have to wait for a while in adopting new technology. Therefore the farmers having more annual income could able to take risk of an extensive coverage. Those indicated that more annual income of the farmers increased a tendency on the way to more adoption of salt-tolerant variety BRRI dhan 47, and similar findings also was observed by Hassan et al. 2001, Chowdhury et al. 2012. The findings was that the organizational participation of the farmers had no significant effect with their adoption of BRRI dhan 47. This indicated that every farmer linked with organization or without participation can adopt BRRI dhan 47, and similar results was found by Hossain 2006, Chowdhury et al. 2012. This indicated that innovativeness of farmers could influence their adoption behavior towards BRRI dhan 47. Higher innovativeness as an individual inspires to adopt new technology. For this reason, innovative farmers face less problems in adopting new agricultural practices. The extension media conduct of the farmers had significant effect with their adoption of BRRI dhan 47. Hossain, 2006, and Chowdhury et al. 2012 reported that the similar results found of the respective study. This indicated that the farmer whose regularly conduct with extension worker, adoption rate of BRRI dhan 47 was higher than irregular conduct with extension worker. The knowledge on rice cultivation of the farmers had significant effect with their adoption of BRRI dhan 47. This indicated that farmers' knowledge on rice cultivation increased the adoption of BRRI dhan 47 among the respondents. Chowdhury et al. 2012. 18 APSI Report 8, 1, 2014, 13-20 TABLE4. Problem Faced Index for selected 10 problems with rank order SL.NO. Nature of problem. Degree of problem, N equals 100. Opinion at extent of problem. PFI high, medium, low, not at all. 1 Shattering problem in seedling stage 46 33 21 0 225. 2 Increasing cost on irrigation facilities 73 27 0 0 273. 3 Unable to tolerate salinity at mature 22 48 30 0 192. Stage 4 Lack of rain or proper irrigation at 2064 16 0 218. Tillering stage 5 Losses due to natural calamities 82 18 0 0 282. 6 Inadequate supply of inputs 2049 31 0 189. 7 Lower yield than other popular 17 38 36 9 163 varieties. 8 Less profitable than other crop 30 56 14 0 216. Cultivation 9 Lack of proper land management 30 38 32 0 198. Techniques 10 Unable to cope with higher level of 16 70 14 0 202. Salinity rank order 1st 2nd 8th 4th 3rd 9th 10th 5th 7th 6th. Shattering problem in seedling stage. Major problem on adoption of BRRI dhan 47 and it ranked first on problem faced index. Besides, increasing cost on irrigation day by day and affect of natural calamities like foggy weather also important hindrance on cultivation of BRRI dhan 47. However, unable to tolerate salinity at mature stage, inadequate supply of inputs etc. also affects on adoption. Conclusions: most of the BRRI dhan 47 growers were either young or middle-aged, although age of the BRRI dhan 47 farmers had no significant associations with their adoption. Education is a causal factor of gaining knowledge and skill and has been formed affirmative attitude in an individual near good possessions. There is a call for to develop the learning intensity of the farmers. Annual income and extension media contact are most important with their adoption among the farmers where farm size, knowledge of rice cultivation, and innovativeness showed also positive significant relationship on adoption of salt-tolerant variety BRRI dhan 47. References: Actor L. 2007. Of improved tomato varieties by the farmers in a selected area of Bangladesh. M.S. A.G. Ext. ed. Thesis: Department of Agricultural Extension Education. Bangladesh Agricultural University, Mymensingh. Orang Ozabe Mk 2002. Adoption of Integrated Homestead Farming Technologies by the Rural Women in RDRS. M.S. A.G. Ext. ed. Thesis: Department of Agricultural Extension Education. Bangladesh Agricultural University, Mymensingh. Wien MH. 2005. Class Lecture, Adoption of Innovation, Department of Agricultural Extension and Information System, Sheri Bangla Agricultural University, Dhaka. BRRI EA, Bailey Saras J. Waratilnik E. 2000. Responses to abiotic stresses. In Biochemistry and Molecular Biology of Plants, eds B.B. Buchna, W. Gruisam and R. L. Jones. Pages 1158-1203. BRRI, Bangladesh Rice Research Institute, .2011. Adhunik Thanershash, in Bengali. Bangladesh Rice Research Institute, Joydebpur, Gazipur. Pages 5. Chahine K., Saurer A., Youssef T., Hajar S. 2013. Salinity effect on plant growth at the seedling stage of durum wheat, Triticum durum desv. J. Plant breed. Crop Sci 5, 220-25 App Sci Report 8, 1, 2014, 13-20 Chowdhury, ETAL 2012. Adoption of BRRI dhan 47 in the coastal areas of Bangladesh. Agricultural Journal. 7, 5286-291. Hassan mm 2003. Adoption of recommended potato cultivation practices by the farmers in some selected area of Rajshahi district. MS Thesis, Department of Agricultural Extension Education, Bangladesh Agricultural University, Mymensingh, Bangladesh. Hossain K. 2006. Adoption of selected HYV rice by the farmer of Rahpat Union under Kajani Upazila in Gopalganj district. MS. AG. EXT ed. Thesis, Department of Agricultural Extension and Information System. Sher-e Bangla Agricultural University, Dhaka. Hussain Ma. 2001. Farmers' knowledge and adoption of modern sugarcane cultivation practices. MS. AG. EXT ed. Thesis, Department of Agricultural Extension Education. Bangladesh Agricultural University, Mymensingh IRRI, International Rice Research Institute. 2010 http://www.irri.org/about-rice/rice-facts/what is rice? Islam Mr 2008. Adoption of integrated plant nutrient system by the small farmers towards sustainable crop production. MS. AG. EXT ed. Thesis, Department of Agricultural Extension Education. Bangladesh Agricultural University, Mymensingh Kundu DK, Ladha JK. 1995. Enhancing soil nitrogen use and biological nitrogen fixation in wetland rice. Expt Agric pages 31, 261-277. Levinaran A. Lopez F. Vasut 1995 Guaranese. Lay plants faces o stress salinity. Kayas D. Agricultures 4:263-273. Sardar MHU. 2002 Adoption of IPM practices by the farmers under Petra project of RDRS. MS. AG. EXT ed. Thesis, Department of Agricultural Extension Education. Bangladesh Agricultural University, Mymensingh. Suryanarayanan S. 2010. Innovations and Food Security in Bangladesh. http://www.wordssecuritynetwork.com/show article 3.cfm article _ID =18473. 20